Hey everyone, we're learning a new RPG tonight, and before we start, if you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff, I want you to hit the like button down below and hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every single time we learn an RPG like this on the show, or we host an actual play or an interview, or any kind of content on the show. We really appreciate that. But now let's learn about Afterlife, the RPG that's coming up from Angry Hamster Publishing. And leading this whole actual play is Liz Chaipraditkul from Angry Hamster. Liz, thanks for coming on and doing this actual play with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah. Now, if folks haven't heard about this game, because it's coming to Kickstarter next month, is that correct?
Yeah, it's launching on the 1st of May, actually.
The 1st of May. Wow. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And also, let's just introduce our players while we've got a chance. To my left, I've got Alan Bahr from Gallant Knight Games.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on, Alan. Next to Alan is Amanda Kahl from ageofnight.com, the popular fantasy webcomic. I almost got that right the first time, but
Hello.
And last but not least is RPG player extraordinaire, Morgan Nuncio.
Hi, guys.
Thanks again, Morgan, for coming on the show. We love having you.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.
That's basically the best intro. Like, we got Amanda makes a comic, Alan makes games, and you play RPGs awesomely. Like, there's all these really cool adjectives.
That's
True.
pretty much, yep.
Woo.
But now it's my chance to just take the show. I'm going to just grab a hold of it, and I'm going to hand it over to Liz and let Liz be in control. Liz, here you go. Here's VCG for you to do whatever you want with.
In that case, no.
Oh, geez.
You're fired, Doug. No.
Oh, I knew this was coming.
Awesome. Okay, so today we are going to play Afterlife Wandering Souls. I should have said this at the start, but if you want to know more, you can go to angryhamsterpublishing.com/afterlife. Or you can just keep watching.
Or if I was a good host, I would have actually led with that and told folks where they should go. But that's okay. You did a wonderful job of picking up my slack.
I mean, after we get off this broadcast, I'll explain to you why you're fired, and that's one of the. All right, it's all right.
Wait, we can fire Doug?
No, she has control that she only can fire him.
He gave me control of the show, so.
This is now the Liz show. I like it.
A little bit of power going to my head, just a little bit. Right, so we are playing Afterlife Wandering Souls today. And the premise of Afterlife Wandering Souls is that your characters have died. But you didn't go into nothingness, the great black void of non-existence. You didn't go to heaven, you didn't go to hell, you didn't reach nirvana. Instead, what happened is you took a very long, dark boat ride, and you were dumped off in an endless desert called the Tenebris, the darkness, even though this is a scorchingly bright desert, which you wander with your crewmates, and your crewmates are the fellow people who were on the boat ride with you. And what you basically do is you wander through different planes of existence, known as limbos, in order to try to gain resonance. And what resonance is resonance for wanderers, because that's what your players are called, is memories. Because you can't actually remember anything about your past life. So you're searching for memories of who you once were to eventually find your end. Because once you kind of have a full sense of self and you know who you are, your soul or your being, whatever you want to call it, is finally able to rest, and you can take that final journey to the end of your afterlife. So that is the game we are playing today. So it involves going into really weird, strange, macabre worlds and then reliving pretty mundane, sometimes, memories of what humans would have. And we are going to be playing in one of these such worlds, which you guys are going to help me build, actually, because I'm a lazy GM, and I like to make my players do all the work. That is why I've created a game where players must also roll everything, and I must do nothing. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about your characters. So for everyone watching, I actually made some pre-generated characters for everyone here because character creation actually happens in game for Afterlife. So normally it would be an entire session where all these lovely players would take a boat ride from the world of the living to the world of the dead, and they'd roll up their characters and we'd do some role play. We're not doing that today. They're playing with pre-generated characters, which means they need to fill in a bunch of information for me. And I am going to pick on, I think I'm going to pick on Morgan first because I see your character first in the character keeper. I'm so sorry.
It's
Lovely,
okay.
lovely.
Bring it.
So first of all, tell me a little bit about what Echo looks like. So what did Echo look like when she took the boat ride? How did she find herself?
Ooh. Oh, I hate going first. She tan skin, dark eyes, dark circles, heavy dark hair that's sort of dirty. Her clothes themselves are pretty dirty too. Like she hasn't changed much. Sort of like worn and torn a bit.
Okay. And she looks tired then too. You said dark circles?
Yeah, or someone who doesn't sleep much, or someone who's been through a lot.
What was your reaction? What was Echo's first reaction then? Actually, I'm interested to the boat, like learning that she was dead. Was it a relief? Was it terrifying? It can also be terrifying.
Yeah, it definitely could be terrifying, but for her, I think it was a relief.
Okay. So you just kind of get this sense of relief that washes over you, at least before you step onto the Teneverse and you realize that you are kind of doomed to wander an endless desert. One of the things that every wanderer has, and so each of you has this, is something called death marks. So you have kind of these 9 sigils which are on your skin, like tattoo-like markings. And as you find memories of who you once were, you unlock a death mark. And basically it means it becomes more visible on your skin. Mechanically, it means that you get a cool power you can use in game, which we will deal with later in the game. But it also means that you unlock a memory. So you relive a memory of your character's past life. So Morgan, you actually have one memory already unlocked. And the prompt for that is, I was in a city, I sought the darkest place. So you actually remember this memory. What is it?
Basically, it was her sitting in a rundown shack that's in the inner city with plastic and trash and litter all around her. It was one time where she actually got some peace and quiet before she decided to go for another hit and go to bed.
Oh, okay. So actually it's a very quiet memory for you. It's just you remembering so you have kind of this peaceful moment, right? Just before you're about to go to bed, of kind of quiet and darkness. And you remember someone important in your life just before you take another hit. Who is that?
Her mother.
Your mother. And was that a good relationship or a bad relationship?
It was good until she was a teen.
Okay. And why is that?
Started hanging out with the wrong people. Started to see different crowds. Started to run away. Started to just pull away.
Okay. And as your mother fades from memory, you take another hit and you go to bed. All right. Very cool. Thank you so much, Morgan. I am going to now pick on Grayson, aka Doug. Hello, Doug.
Hello.
You're on thin ice here, so you know.
Uh-oh. I know. All right.
Tell me about what Grayson looks like.
I think Grayson is rather. I think he's rather old.
Okay.
He looks old. Like he's probably like gray-haired, the beard, and he looks kind of wrinkly. Probably in his like. I don't want to give an age because that doesn't sound as old as it used to. Let's just say he looks like he's had a longer life than, or he looks older. And he's got pretty nice clothes on, but not really high end clothes. But he looks okay.
Okay. So like he's well put together.
Yeah.
All right. And the memory that you have associated to your death mark is I found a gift from someone else that I thought was lost. I'm deleting this last bit. I realized that it's from I found a gift from someone else I thought was lost. What was that gift?
I actually thought maybe it was a book from a loved one.
Okay. What type of book?
Let's say it's a diary.
Okay, tell me more. Who's this diary from?
Maybe it's from a person that he was in love with, but that he lost early on in his life.
Okay, what was their name?
Let's do Eliza.
Eliza. All right. So you lost Eliza? How did you lose Eliza, Grayson?
I think she was in some sort of accident that I feel somewhat responsible for.
Ooh. And do you still carry this guilt into your kind of old age? I mean,
yeah, I think that's probably why I look so old, is because that memory is weighed on me for so many years.
oh, interesting. And this, I am going to say that you have this memory. You're reading through this journal that Eliza wrote. You find it, and you kind of read page by page. And there's one page that sticks with you because it kind of encompasses her true feelings for you. She talks about you in a more meaningful way than like, I saw Grayson today type thing. How did she really feel about you, Grayson?
She let's see here. I think that I'm trying to think of something really decent here. She wasn't really sure of me at first, but she, after years of interaction, we became really close, and I think she was maybe falling in love with me.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Thank you, Grayson. Next on my list is Alan playing Delaney. Hello, good sir. What does Delaney look like?
Delaney's actually young, probably like maybe 18, 19. And so just make sure I understand, we died in like modern times out there in the real world, right?
You can die whenever you want.
Oh, excellent. So he's actually, he looks like a kind of a early British punk rock from like the 70s, like the Sex Pistols era. So he's got like the torn jeans, long hair, leather jacket, kind of a scraggly t-shirt, and he looks ill-kempt and kind of worn out and stressed out.
Okay. That sounds
I'm-
awesome.
Not going to do a British accent though.
Oh man.
It would be terrible.
I do a bad British accent for your game, Alan.
That's true, you do.
Well, now that we've established Alan's phoning it in, no.
All right, hang on. Now look here, I don't know what you're on about. No, Morgan's like,
Morgan can't deal.
That's like New York, Brooklyn.
yeah, I'm having a hard
it's
time. I'm
terrible.
terrible at accents.
And there
It's
go
okay.
all my.
All right.
Yeah.
We won't make you do it, Alan.
You're supposed to say governor, right? Like, sorry, governor.
Oh no.
There go all my British subscribers.
I'm sorry.
Delaney, you have a memory as well associated with your death mark. You were caught in a lie and you had to flee for your life. Tell me a little bit about that.
So yeah, so kind of leaning into the punk rock 70s image. I think I wasn't as punk rock as I dress or think I was. And he was trying to get more into that culture, and he got himself caught up in some lies with some bad people. And when the truth came out, I kind of had to bail.
Okay. What type of bad peoples were they? Like, I mean, was this like kind of a club in London run by unsavory folk type thing, or?
Yeah. So he comes from a blue collar family, and didn't want to do the dock work like his dad did, and so he kind of got involved in some drug running. With a drug running gang that operated out of a punk club in London.
Okay, and you had to flee for your life. Why was that? Like, was this because of something you did wrong, or did you see something you shouldn't have seen?
No, I've been skimming off the top because my dad's sick and dying, and I've been trying to cover his medical bills.
Oh.
And when they confronted me, I basically cut and run, so they couldn't kill me.
So you skimmed money off the top of this organization to pay for your dad's medical bills.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, because you ran to save your life, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what happened to your dad?
Probably not. I'm probably trying to find out.
Okay. So as yet, you don't have a memory of what happened to your father. All you remember is running as far and as fast as you can.
Yep.
Sounds good. And finally, we are going to Quinn, played by Amanda.
Yay.
Tell me a little bit about what you look like, Quinn.
So Quinn is going to be a middle-aged lady. So she's in like her mid-40s. And
That's not middle-aged, Amanda.
okay, what is middle-aged, Doug? When does
I don't-
middle-aged start?
I don't know, but it's not mid-40s.
Okay, I'm sorry I made you feel insecure. Anyway, so
Proceed.
I shall. So Quinn is very nicely dressed. She looks kind of well put together, but she's got kind of really wild reddish hair that's starting to go a little bit gray. And an awful lot of like really nice, very fine and thin jewelry. Like lots of little really fine thin rings and chain bracelets and necklaces and that sort of thing.
Okay, he's also very stylish in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And Quinn, you also have a memory.
Mhm.
You were kidnapped, and it was your fault.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So Quinn also passed some time longer ago when things were a lot harder and kidnapping was a lot more common among people of better means and better social standing. So a lot of family members of rich and powerful people were frequently kidnapped. And she knew that this was a risk and had been told many times by her family not to wander off away from bodyguards and away from home, but she was tired of feeling shut in and not getting out and getting to do anything, and snuck away, and that's when it happened.
Who kidnapped you?
It was an organized crime family that had kidnapped her, who were just trying to get a little bit of extra money for ransom.
Okay. Do you know what did you escape?
I actually don't remember what happened as far as if I got away or not. The last thing that I can remember from that memory is being held captive with them and wondering what I was going to do.
All right. When you were being held captive, I think that there was one person who, out of all the kidnappers, because you were kept for a while, while your family worked obviously with law, trying to get you free, and going through all those different kind of courses of action. There was one person who was particularly decent to you. Who was that?
So there was one a much younger man in the group. He probably was more like a teenager. He wasn't even really a young man yet. And he just seemed like he felt really bad about the whole thing and was always trying to speak nicely to me and be a little bit more gentle when everyone else was a lot more brusque.
All right. And what was his name?
He didn't want to give me his name. He said I could just call him Buddy.
Buddy. All right. Sounds good. All right. We have excuse me. We have our crew together. You have all traveled the Tenebris for some time, insofar as that you have actually all gained a death mark so far. There's 9 in total you get to unlock in this game. So you each have experienced a memory, and that's kind of intoxicating to you. So that makes you want to go into limbos even more and explore, to gain more and more memories of who you once were. And you are in one of these such limbos. So you've entered in through one of these portals, and these portals can be anything. Sometimes they're just gates standing in the Tenebris, so they're standing in the desert and you walk through them. Sometimes they're pools of water. Once you even fell into one, and kind of had to figure out how to escape. But this one you walked in, and you actually walked through what looked like a giant moon door, which was kind of standing in the Tenebris and slowly spinning. And the 4 of you walked through into a different world to explore and try to find these memories. And when you enter through the door, you can see that you're in a world where the sun is slowly setting. And through your travels in this world, the sun always seems to be perpetually setting. It never rises. It never gets completely dark. It's constantly in a state of twilight. And there are people in this world, but they don't look like normal humans. They're all wearing masks. And to again pick on you guys, I am going to ask the lovely Morgan, what do these masks look like?
I would say they're mechanical in nature, like they either smooth glass or smooth metal or bits of gears or wires or tubing of some sort.
Okay. So they wear these metal masks, which kind of have all these different tubes and kind of moving pieces on them. kind of imagine like the mask from Dishonored almost, if anybody's played that video game. But I see it. Why are they wearing these masks?
Oh, I'm still answering this question.
Yes, you are.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep questioning you, man.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm gonna say there's a thick smog to the air, like a thick, like maybe like the air is just a little heavier.
Okay.
One reason or another, like maybe it's not like smog or pollution itself. Maybe it's just like, you know how Venus has heavy clouds because of a different sort of like whatchamacallit, but yeah.
Okay.
The elements. I don't know.
No, that's cool. So you all enter this world, and you see, besides for the sun setting, you kind of enter into a city, and you see that there's this thick fog everywhere. And we'll say, like, I like it's kind of like this red, thick fog. Grayson, aka Doug, what do these people fear in the fog?
What do they fear? Maybe they fear. I was trying to think of. Let me think here. Maybe like some sort of large beast that roams around.
Ooh, I like that. So there's a large beast. Does it travel with the fog, maybe?
Yeah, we'll say that it does that.
Okay. I like that. So actually, you all come into this, and you see in the distance that there's a large bonfire. And as wanderers, you are motivated to travel, right? You're motivated to go and kind of get involved in these limbos in order to find memories. And you go towards this large bonfire, and you realize that people within this little town are gathering around the bonfire. And where the bonfire is, there's actually no fog. So you all kind of like step into the fire and out of the fog. And Delaney, Alan,
Yes.
you notice that there is someone speaking to these people who's leading them. Who leads these people?
Oh man. How specific do you want that answer to be? Like
As specific as you want, and if I find it not specific enough, I'm going to ask leading questions until I get the answer I want.
All right. It is an older matronly woman named Anita.
Anita. All right. And her mask is slightly different than other people's. What does her mask look like? How does it kind of denote that she is a leader?
Jeez. So I'm gonna assume I can get pretty metaphysical here, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So it's got a halo of glowing diamonds that floats about 8 inches above her head.
All right. Halo of glowing diamonds.
They sort of oscillate between a rainbow pattern.
Awesome. I like that. And finally, Quinn, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
That thing in the mists. It lives somewhere. Where does it live? Right now you've just seen the town, but I'm asking you to get a little bit outside of your character at this point. Where does it live?
So it lives in a boggy area a couple of miles away from the town. And you'll know when you're in the right bog because it's surrounded by a whole bunch of dead, standing, like, skeletons of trees.
Okay. Thank you. So you all walk in to the light of this bonfire. And immediately, everyone who's gathered around this bonfire is shocked. You hear gasps, people kind of stepping back away from you. And you hear people whispering in hushed tones. They're saying no masks, and they're kind of whispering to one another. What do you do?
What
You started making noise first, Doug. What are you doing?
I'm going to. I'm just going to look at the others and kind of look puzzled as to why. What should we do? Like what do you think's going on here?
Everyone here seems to have one of these masks, and we don't. I suppose we should ask if we can get some.
Sure. So I guess I'll go up to one of the folks around the bonfire and ask them why they have a mask on and if we should have them as well.
You walk up to a man who's nearest to you, and he kind of jerks backwards in fear a little bit as you walk towards him, and he says, "Stay back. I don't want any trouble."
And I'll say that we don't want any trouble either. What can you explain what's going on?
He looks around, and he says that it's bonfire night.
Interesting.
We're not from here. Could you explain what is happening on bonfire night? We're strangers in this area.
How did you get through the fog?
Well, we didn't exactly. We just sort of came here. Does anyone have a better explanation?
I'm still stuck on the no mask thing.
Echo's just pulling her really big hoodie sleeve. So she's wearing, just sort of holds it over her face, trying to make herself like I'm in my mask.
The man just kind of as you make that movement to cover your face, he steps back a little because he's not really sure what you're doing. And then he just kind of looks sideways at you, not sure what to make of you.
So do we need masks for bonfire night?
I don't know. He looks at you. He says, "The fog is Have you taken the beast within you?"
I would think I would remember that, so I'm going to say no. I don't believe we have.
At this point, you hear a voice kind of raise above everyone else, and it's kind of the voice of a woman, and you hear her say basically, "What is going on over there?" And the man kind of shrinks back. He's like, I don't want any problems. And you see basically a woman in a mask, and she has a halo of glowing diamonds floating over her head, and she is making her way towards you.
That's ostentatious. Who got that up?
As she walks towards you, actually, you see the diamonds kind of break apart over her head, and they start hovering above your group, about a meter above your heads. Are you trying to grab one?
Yeah.
Grayson? All right. I think this is actually a perfect time for you to make a check.
Oh, right.
So I am going, sorry, Delaney, that's your character. Basically, how checks work in Afterlife is that you always roll your core plus an attribute in D6s. So, and you always roll your linked core stats. So, for example, body has dexterity, stamina, strength. Mind has awareness, education, intelligence, and soul has charisma, creativity, empathy. You always roll those together. So I would argue, normally players call their checks, but we're doing a quick game, so I'm going to just help guide you guys a little bit.
Sure.
I would argue this is probably a dexterity as you're trying to grab one of these small
Absolutely.
crystals.
So dexterity 1, body 1. I'm rolling 2d6.
2d6. So you have two things. You have your shield and your talent, which is puppetry. Your puppetry is I hear what others cannot. I don't think that's going to help you in this situation. But you haven't defined what your shield looks like yet. So every wanderer has an approach, which is kind of a weapon. But it doesn't have to be a weapon that the boatman gives them when they take the ride from the world to living to the world of the dead. So your shield can do special things, and you get to define what that is. But as you define your shield more and more, so it starts very broad, it starts to narrow down, right? So if we say your shield is a bubble that kind of pops up around you and deflects missiles, then it's not also going to be a shield that you can hold on your arm and buffet things away from you. I don't know if your shield will assist in this or not, but it's something to think about if you want it to assist.
No, I don't think it would.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to set a challenge for you. The average challenge is 2, which I think is fair for this. So you'd roll 2d6.
And what am I looking for?
You are looking for a 4 to a 6 on the dice.
All right, so I got a 4 and a 5.
Okay. So that's 2 successes. So you met the challenge. You grab one of these crystals.
That can't end badly.
And you feel it kind of trying to move in your palm, and you're holding it and you're struggling with it, but at one point it kind of just stops, and you see that you guys see that Delaney's hand starts to glow, and as the woman Anita, she gets closer and closer, his hand starts to grow brighter and brighter. And oh, sorry. Do you want to say something, Dad?
I was going to tell the kid to maybe let go of that because it doesn't belong to him. That was what I was going to say in character, and kind of get after Delaney for taking this lady's floating diamond.
Yeah, well, you know what? Nothing belongs to anybody.
Youngsters.
You as you kind of have this exchange, the woman steps up to the 4 of you, and she makes a motion with her hands. She kind of pulls them over her head and puts them down to her side, and she says, "Greeting, travelers. We want no problems here."
That's good. Yeah.
We're not looking to cause problems, are we?
She looks down at your glowing fist.
It was just above me, and I grabbed it. I'll let it go.
You let it go. You let the diamond go. All the other diamonds have kind of like floated up and started circling around her head. And nothing comes out of your hand.
Is my hand still glowing?
Well, your hand's not, like, when you open it, it's not glowing anymore, but you see that there's kind of a diamond lodged into your palm.
And I'm gonna look over it and be like, "Kid, I told you to give it back to her."
It's part of me now. I have one of the infinity gems.
Oh no.
All of a sudden, your party members start fading away now.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. No. So I'm gonna like try to like dig at it to get it out.
It's lodged in there. Unless you really want to start digging.
Hey, old lady.
Oh my god.
So I don't know where your gem went, but this one's just in my hand. It's been here my whole existence.
She, yeah, obviously you can't see an expression on her face because she has one of these masks on.
I'm going to spend a point of will, and an NPC I am lying to will believe me without a check, according to my forked tongue ability.
All right, spend a point of will, please. There's a temporary column there. You can.
Yep.
She nods, and she says, "Are you of this world?"
Not of any world, lady.
She says, "But if it has been a part of you, then you are the ones that the prophecy foretold."
Oh no.
Well,
She
F
said,
word.
You are the ones. You are the ones who wear no mask. You are the ones who will deal with the beast.
Oh no.
The beast. Hey, she just said beast.
Yeah, no, So, like, are we talking like 666, the beast in the Book of Revelations kind of thing?
I do not know this ancient lore that you speak of.
Yeah, okay, lady. You don't go to church? I mean, it's pretty punk rocky. I'm pretty on board with that. Down with the man.
I don't. Does this look like anywhere that you've ever been before? Does this look like a place that they would have?
Hey,
have the same.
I've got a rock in my hand now. Okay, I'm doing the best I can in I don't even know what kind of circumstances, and apparently, I'm the chosen one. So.
Yeah.
And when you say like I'm the chosen one at this point, like the woman, like she gets on her knees, and then like the entire group around the bonfire get on the knees too.
Oh
and
my.
she.
By the way, I've decided what my shield is.
What?
It's these people taking damage for me because I'm the chosen one.
No.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
Morgan's like, no. Go.
And they say, basically, she says the ones who were foretold. And everyone chants after her, the ones who were foretold.
Oh, what have you
kid,
done?
Echo is
Kid,
very
what did you
uncomfortable.
do?
Echo is so uncomfortable.
I'm just here upsetting the status quo like it needs to be done.
You don't even know what the status quo is here.
Yeah, but now it's upset.
Mm. Yes,
Are really pleased, one of the two.
Look, I'm trying. So what is the chosen one supposed to do?
The woman in the mask like looks up as if she's waiting for you all to like allow her to stand.
Yeah.
Please.
This must be what the queen feels like.
I'm gonna reach down and pick, help her up.
All right. She stands and she she seems very surprised but like thankful. And she says, you will slay the beast and you will end the fog. That is why you are here, is it not? That is why you do not have to wear the masks.
Oh.
Ooh. So, at a game question, does something happen if I run out of will?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
Basically, so you have two pools. You have your concept pools, which we will get into when you make checks and you fail. Those are a currency you can use to succeed. Your vitality pools are basically how well your character is doing. Your health is obviously how much physical damage and vigor you have. Your hunger is your resources, actually, and whether you're starving. And your will is your kind of willpower and hope to go on. When you reach 0 will, your character gains a point of stagnation. When you gain 3 points of stagnation, your character becomes unplayable. You become a member of someone called the Unrequited, and normally you become an antagonist for your group.
Huh. So don't spend all my will lying to people.
I mean,
is what you're
maybe
saying.
Not in your first session, but it's up to you, man.
Noted. So I'm like, as we're having this conversation, I'm like still trying to like dig the gem out a little bit, like just see if it comes loose. And I'm like, ugh. Hey, so where's like, is this beast we're talking about? Is it like some sort of like 3-headed dragon with like 6 legs kind of thing, or is it like a puppy?
She looks at you and she says, I do not know these creatures you speak of, but it is a changing and wretched thing.
That makes sense.
And so no one knows what it really looks like or what we'd be going up against?
She says there are tales that it is as big as a house. What we do know is that it comes at night, and if you are caught in the fog, it takes you.
Oh.
Is that why you make a bonfire?
The bonfire protects. She nods.
That makes sense.
And it could be anywhere out in the fog?
It makes its home in the bog, but at night it hunts.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Are there any weaknesses that you know of for the beast?
She shakes her head. She doesn't.
That makes sense. Why would it have weaknesses? That would be easy.
No, yeah, can't have that.
Too bad it's not like it takes damage from fog or something. Yeah. So, lady sage person, me and my fellow chosen ones are gonna have a conversation. Can you give us a second?
She says, of course. And she basically makes people clear rooms so you guys can have a conversation.
We were just gonna walk the other. Whatever. Sure. Hey, get in here. So the way I see it, we got like 2 choices. One, we just kind of bail.
What? We can't do that.
Where are we to build to?
I just like not here. Okay. Look, I learned a long time ago that if you don't want to do something, just don't be where that thing is happening, and you don't have to do it.
And that's probably why you ended up here.
No, I ended up here. I mean, I don't remember actually. Running, and so it's complicated.
Well, these people are now relying on us, so now we have to do something.
They seem to have a good system, right? With the whole masks and the bonfire and the beast in the darkness. Like, I feel like
they look terrified. This
really
isn't
solid
good.
Status quo that doesn't need our intervention.
I thought you were all about upsetting the status quo. That's what you're always going on about.
Well, some status quos are good.
Are you afraid of what's in the woods?
Yes, absolutely terrified. I don't want to be a chosen one. Look at me.
I mean, that diamond chose you, obviously.
The diamond, yeah, that's how that went.
Mm-hmm.
It was all like, I'll just fly into your hand and you'll close your fist real tight and now you're the chosen one. Definitely wasn't anything I did.
Well, maybe that's how chosen ones are chosen. What do we know?
I feel like not that.
Well, I believe everyone else here has decided that we are going to pursue defeating this beast.
Look.
Yes?
It's because you all are old.
We're not... Excuse me.
I'm in the mid-20s. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
I believe the rest of us are in agreement. Echo, Grayson, yes?
I think we should at least check it out.
Yeah.
See,
All right, Mr. Chosen One.
It's a group thing. We're all the chosen ones.
You're the one with the glowing diamond.
Like a band called the Chosen Ones, right? I might be the face of the band, right? I might be the sting in the police, but I still lead the police. I don't have a solo career. I can't just go out there.
What does law enforcement have to do with this?
It's not a. It's a bang. I don't even know how to respond to that. Hey, lady person. We'll go back to the
Okay.
leader.
Yeah, I think that's probably wise. Yeah, let's go back.
Echo just walked away before that conversation finished.
Or you head back. You head back to the leader, and you're like, "Hey, leader woman." She turns and she says, "Yes."
Dell, you're up. You're the chosen one.
So we're gonna do that chosen thing and kill the beast.
She says, "Oh, thank you, And she leans, like she kneels again, and she says, "The ones who were foretold," and everyone kneels and says, "The
Hey,
ones
okay.
who were foretold."
We're gonna stop with the kneeling. No more kneeling. New rule.
Of course. I'm so sorry. She stands up.
No, don't apologize. Oh my. Look, all right. We're just like you, kind of. I don't actually know if we are, but I'm gonna go with yes.
She says, "Will you deal with the beast now, then?"
I mean, yeah. What do we do? Just like wait in the dark until it attacks us?
She says, "Well,
It seems like a terrible plan. Let's just stand here till the enemy gets the drop on us.
do you not have a plan of how you're dealing with the beast?"
Hey, lady, I just found out like 2 minutes ago I have to deal with the beast. All right?
We came here without any sort of weaponry or anything to take on such a creature. Do you have anything that you could lend us?
She makes a motion, and basically people go to the bonfire and they pull out some torches for you.
Oh, yes, burning
So,
stick. Yes.
If I've got a shield, doesn't Grayson have a sword?
Yes, Grayson does have a sword, and we haven't defined what that sword looks like. Is it actually a sword that chops things and kills things, or is it a different type of sword? You don't have to define it yet if you don't want to.
Let me think about it for a little bit.
Cool. But basically, she, as the people pass you the torches, she says, "The fire protects."
Good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have burning sticks.
I feel not so great about this plan. Okay. So
Which direction is the? You said it lived in a swamp or something. Which direction is that in from here?
Basically, she gives you rough directions. Basically, if you head out of town and you head eastwards, and like she motions obviously to where that is, and you'll find the bog. And also, she tells you that its home is surrounded by these dead trees, kind of like these hollowed out dead trees. She says, "Oh, of course," and of course, and she motions to Delaney's hand. She says that the stones light up when the beast is near.
That's convenient. And anyone else? Is there anything else we need to do before we go?
Echo just takes a torch and just lights it up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a torch and just shake my head in disbelief of what Delaney's got us into.
I feel like
All
this
right.
is entirely my fault.
It's pretty
All I
much
did-
it's pretty
all
much
I did
100% your
was-
fault.
Create the NPC with the glowing stones, and then steal one of the stones from the NPC I created, and then hold it and not give it back. But that was it. Not my fault.
None of this was your fault. Just happened at you.
Story of my life. All right.
All right. So do you all head out towards the bog with your
Yeah.
torches?
Yeah.
All right. You all head out towards the bog, and the torches do help to an extent, in which they kind of ward off this fog, oddly enough, to about like a meter or so away from you, like a meter in diameter. So you kind of have this little buffer zone as you start to travel. And what you realize is these people live in a rather kind of low technology area. They do obviously have access to metals and things like that, but their village is kind of very poor, very basic. You don't see any electricity visibly, and you make your way down this winding road through this thick red fog in the twilight. And as you're traveling, actually, Echo, you smell something familiar coming over, like wafting through the fog, actually. And you get that feeling that you used to get when you would use. It's almost like it's like a memory, and it starts tugging at you and kind of calling you towards, kind of to break off the path that has been set in front of you. It's familiar, and you feel it. Yeah, you feel it calling to you.
Yeah, as soon as she smells it, she sort of just stops dead in her tracks and just stares in the direction that she thinks it's coming from. And then bites her bottom lip and started just scratching her arm a bit, like tugging at her sleeve, and sort of looks to the group, just thinking and sort of doing like a half step towards that direction.
At this point, you actually hear a couple of voices in the fog also, just calling out to you. You know, they're people who you used to use with, actually. It sounds like they're having a fun party out in the fog.
Why would they be here?
Why would who be here?
And she just takes another step.
What?
And then another.
Echo. Why would who be here? There's no one here but us.
You don't hear them?
No.
You're losing it, lady.
Echo, you have the overwhelming urge to drop your torch at this moment and just run into the fog.
Hey, is my hand glowing?
No, it isn't.
Okay.
And I would actually like you to make a check to resist this, please.
Oh, what would I be rolling?
Well, let's see. I think it depends on how, I don't know how, or do you want to resist this, actually? I should ask first.
I think she's trying to resist it, but deep down she doesn't want to, but she's trying for the group to resist it. So,
Okay, so I would argue you could roll an intelligence if you're trying to reason your way out of this, because you said hey, they shouldn't be here. What are they doing here?
Uh-huh.
I would argue that would make the most sense to me.
I have a 0 in intelligence, so
that's fine. So then you just roll your mind, so you don't get any penalties or anything.
Okay.
So having a 0 in something, it's not like in D&D where you're just terrible at it. It just means that you don't have any resources invested in that. So you still roll your linked core. So that's a 3. And you also have a talent, which is heal ailments of the soul. So I don't know if you want to define your talent a little bit to assist you, because I guess this could be argued kind of as this could be an ailment of your soul, in a way.
I don't know how she'd be healing it though. She'd be just more giving into it.
Okay, no, fair. In that case, it's just 3 dice.
Okay.
Challenge 2.
Okay, so I got a 1, a 6, and a 5.
Okay, that is more than enough. That's 2 successes. So you resist, you just manage, even though you're stepping off the path, you manage to hold on to that torch. You all see her kind of break formation, though.
This area, be careful. I think it's going to play tricks on all of us.
Right. So we should all stick nice and close together. And I'm just going to kind of like put my arm around her and slowly draw
Scoop her
her
in.
back
So-
towards us.
The old lady back at the camp with the hero worship complex. She said this beast was like ever changing,
Yes.
right? So could it like sound like stuff from our memories? Maybe
Possibly.
that thing be the beast.
I mean, I did hear that, and I did smell.
I
Did smell that.
My hand's not glowing though, right?
So then it must not be.
So
Maybe it's something else out here.
Or do I like need a whole set of gems to like make it glow?
Well, she said it would glow if it was nearby.
Maybe it's broken.
Well, this noises and
Really-
voices weren't nearby, so maybe that's why it didn't set it off.
Okay. So I guess we keep going and just maybe it'll glow and we just assume that's some weird fog thing. Maybe the fog is changey too if the beast is, because it lives in the fog, right?
The fog could be its own issue that it is separate but related.
Cool. All right. Side note, Ever Changing Fog would be an awesome band name.
Seems like a very strange name.
But it'd be awesome.
You all continue traveling, and as you get closer to the bog, basically at one point, like the trail kind of you notice kind of grass on the ground, and through the fog, kind of like dark shapes of kind of foresty areas. At one point, though, as you're traveling, indeed, Delaney's hand starts to glow faintly. And
Sorry.
oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Sorry.
I was saying the closer you get, the brighter it gets.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like if I move it around, does it like get brighter and dimmer?
Yeah.
So-
Like if you,
Does it just like ebb with the glow, or does it like have like a flashlight beam of lightning coming out?
it's a gentle glow for at the moment.
Cool.
It's not, you don't have a lightsaber hand yet.
I'm working.
And you reach the border of these dead trees, kind of these dead, hollowed out trees. And Quinn, when you look at one of the trees, as you're passing by, you're kind of, well, you're stopped in your tracks because you see kind of like a figure reaching up, pained, kind of like reaching out towards you, and within the tree you kind of see Buddy's face woven into the bark.
Oh, do you see that over there? Just to whoever's closest to me.
And you hear kind of like an echoed, pained cry of him calling out to you.
Oh my goodness, someone's in there.
Don't.
But there's someone over there. Don't you see it?
No.
There's nothing there.
But I swear I can hear someone over there, and I can see them inside that tree. You can't. How can you not see this?
And I could have heard my friends earlier.
Quinn, Buddy wants you to reach out and grab his hand and pull him out of the tree.
If I see her move her hand towards the tree, I'm gonna like slap it away.
I'm gonna reach toward it because I really do want to help him.
Okay.
Ow! What are you doing?
It's just a tree, lady.
It's not just a tree. There's
Look,
someone in
You're
there.
old, but you're not old enough to be senile. Keep it together.
You hear basically you see from behind, because like Delaney has come up in front of you, like he's gotten in your face. You see, like closely, you see tears basically kind of now streaming down Buddy's face as he just like, you see his fingers kind of desperately reaching for you from behind Delaney.
No, I'm telling you that there's someone in there and I need to help him.
If I look, do I see anybody in there?
You turn around and you see a tree with a branch.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's just a tree with a branch. I promise.
This place is just messing with our minds.
What? How can you be sure? How can you be sure it's not messing with your mind and making it so that you don't see what's actually there?
Okay, fair question. How many people see a tree with a branch?
3 of us.
Okay, majority rules.
Basically, you see now the bark is starting to like come up around Buddy's mouth and kind of like pull back his cheek as he's being sucked into this tree. And he's calling.
Oh, that's horrific.
Calling for you.
No, I can't just stand by and do nothing with all of you. Even if you can't see it, I promise you there's something over there. And I'm going to try to
Grayson, can you help me? Grayson?
Shoulder past Delaney.
At this point, I think I'd like an opposed check from the both of you.
Okay. So I've also decided what my shield is, by the way, now.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Nice.
No. So it's cool. So the gem in my hand, like, does like almost a flashbang. Like it lets out a big pulse of light that drives things away from me that are attacking me, like physically.
Okay. So are you saying that you're going to blind your crew member?
Well, I figure it fades pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, like, so do flashbangs, but...
I'm not trying to blind her for the rest of the session.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. That's fine.
Like, if she's rushing into me, it's going to, like, just do a big flashy pulse.
Right. So I think you both need to make a dexterity check.
Okay.
Okay.
I am
Alan, because you're using your shield, you get a +1 die. So you're using your approach. And you both roll. Whoever gets more successes wins. However, we can add in something extra. You see that you have these lovely concept pools.
Mm-hmm.
What you can actually do is, let's say, Amanda, you only get 1 success and Alan gets 2. You could spend a point, or you could spend 2 points of your ferocity in order to get 3 successes.
Gotcha.
You can outbid one another.
Ah, okay.
So, how are ties determined?
If ties are determined, it's a new round of checks.
Oh, okay. All right. So I have 3 dice with my shield.
All right. I will clear the board for you guys. You both can roll. Oh, geez.
I'm really glad you cleared that board. That was super helpful for me. Thanks.
Do you remember what you rolled? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and 2 2s, and Amanda had a 1 and 2 6s.
Okay.
No.
I hadn't rolled yet, so that must have been something
really?
old.
That was
up
my,
there.
if they're pink dye, they were mine because I set my dice to pink.
Okay, so
Wait,
what
you
did you
change the
do?
color?
Okay, Amanda, you can
Yeah.
roll now, and we'll see what you get. Sorry about that. I was just trying to be efficient, and I was too
Hey,
efficient.
I failed too.
Okay. Wait,
Okay.
I just re-rolled, so whatever.
Well, you have 1 6.
Oh, I made it. Then I'm turquoise.
You're
Yeah.
turquoise. Oh, okay.
I'm green, so
All right. Do you want to spend any points, Quinn, to succeed?
yeah, I'm gonna try to spend I have 2 ferocity. I'll do the 2 ferocity.
No, save
Okay.
it for the beast. What is
No. I need to save my friend who's stuck in that tree.
Can I?
All right.
So can I spend after she spends, or does only the
Yeah,
loser?
you can up the ante if you want.
I'm gonna up the ante so we're tied, and I'm out of ferocity.
No.
Okay, well, you're both out of ferocity now, so you both need to re-roll and see who gets a success then.
Oh
I'm
my.
gonna assume my shield does not go off immediately after that. Like maybe
No.
recharge or something.
No, we're still kind of defining. At this point we're just defining the outcome of the opposed check anyway. So
Okay.
we'll first see who succeeds at this. And obviously, like, if you fail, your shield's not going to blast everyone in the face unless I think it's hilarious.
That's generally like the majority of any GM education role. How funny is it if I make this happen?
Oh, really?
Oh.
No!
Oh.
Oh wow.
All right, reroll, both of you. It
We're just slapping at each other this whole
Oh,
time.
I got a 6.
Okay. Who got the 6?
Me.
All right.
Uh-huh.
No!
Oh.
Now I got 2 5s.
All right. You Grayson and Echo, you see them struggle for a second. But eventually it's not even like a huge jump, but basically as Delaney is trying to kind of push Quinn away, Quinn, you just managed to grab onto Buddy's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you see him kind of have a moment of relief wash over his eyes as you kind of grab towards him, and Delaney, you're trying to still like shove Quinn backwards. And at this point, Quinn doesn't notice this, but you all see it. The bark starts to travel up her arm. Quinn, at this point, you're just reuniting with Buddy.
Yay.
And he's so happy to see you. And he's just like, pull me out. And you see the more Quinn is pulling, the more the bark is starting to kind of engulf her arm.
Grayson.
Yes.
You.
I
You're
see
just gonna
that.
stand there and let me get
Yeah,
eaten by this tree.
I see that. That's. I can. I guess I should probably do something here to get her away from that. Can I use? I think at this point, can I? I think my sword. I think I'm gonna use my sword, and the idea for my sword is like this like almost like a tornado blade, like a sword that's made of like really like intense like winds and like spiraling winds. I think that's how I would describe it. Can I use the sword to like sever the bark between Quinn and?
Are you kind of trying to like buffet, because you said tornado, so are you trying to like use the wind to kind of like buffet the bark off her arm type thing?
Yeah, just kind of come down and like blow the bark, because it's like a tornado, like it's a tornado blade, and it's just gonna like hopefully just kind of like blow the bark and her away from each other.
Sweet, sounds good to me. I guess I would argue that that's probably a strength check.
Okay.
Right? Like you're bringing down your sword.
Right.
So you're going to roll your strength plus your body, so that's 4 die. You get a +1 from using your approach, so that's 5 die.
Nice. Oh yeah. Oops, I got to use the. So used to. So 5.
Can we clear the table real quick, or?
Oh yeah, clear it. Let's clear it. Okay. So 5, and then enter. How do I roll it?
Do you see the little box next to D6 up at the top left?
Mm-hmm.
You just put in 5d6, and then you click submit, and then it'll roll your dice for you.
Submit. Where's the submit button?
It's the red button.
Right underneath.
Duh. There we go. Oh, no, none.
Ooh. Okay. So the challenge was 2. That's the average challenge. You have now failed your check. You've got no successes. Do you want to spend points of Frosty to get automatic successes, or do you want to take your failure?
I think I'm just going to take my failure and save since my party my other the other parts of the party have kind of given up their points. I think we're going to need mine for later on.
Okay, so at this point, one of the benefits of failing is that you get to mark advancement or experience. So because you failed a check in body, you can mark 1 experience point in body. And because you failed, things get worse. So there's two options for things getting worse. One is that you can take damage to one of your vitality pools. So that's your health, hunger, or will. Or as a GM, I can introduce a plot twist, which I think is suitably cruel. And I'm going to go with that one because I don't think it makes any sense for you to take any damage to any of your pools. So instead, what happens is you kind of whip out your tornado blade, and you buffet some of the bark off Quinn. And as the tornado subsides, what you notice is that the bark starts traveling downwards with a mind of its own and starts encasing your arm as well.
Oh.
Ooh.
Also, at this point, I'd also like to say this isn't so much a plot twist as just, you've gotten to the lair of the beast. Delaney, you notice your arm is glowing brighter.
Yep. Hey, team, chosen one. We've got a beast incoming. You want to walk away from the tree?
They kind of can. And I'm going to try to be like, I'm so sorry, tree, and take my torch and just try to put it against the tree to maybe burn it off them.
Okay, so you just shove your
right against the branch that's trying to eat their arms.
Okay. So Quinn, you're reconnecting with Buddy, and you're kind of pulling him out of the tree. And he's so happy to see you. He doesn't know, he's like, why are you here? Why am I here?
Oh, we'll talk about all of that later. Don't worry about it. We'll just get you to safety first. Here, come on. You have to help me. We'll get you out of here.
All right. So you see Quinn kind of pulling deeper into the tree, and you grab your torch and you shove it into the tree. And you hear a screech. Not from Quinn at first. But Delaney's hand, at this point, blows up. The tree
literally explodes.
Like blows up with light.
Oh, I thought my hand just exploded.
That was karma. I'm not going to say that happened. And the tree, this dry, kind of hollowed out tree, just kind of explodes in fire. And at this point, Quinn, you do feel pain. Because you see Buddy scream as his hair gets set alight and his entire body is engulfed in flame, and it starts traveling up your arm as well. You too, Grayson. I'll give you guys a chance to react though before I do a lot of damage. You still have a chance to kind of get out.
Hey, I'm glowing. Hey.
They're getting about to be on fire, so
yeah, well, the beast is coming.
Maybe the tree is the beast, and
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm paying Delaney absolutely no mind whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh geez, how do I stop this? Oh no.
Now I'm gonna just be trying to slap the fire off of Buddy while I'm still yanking on him.
Okay, so you don't let go.
No. Oh no.
Hey. So I have kind of a crazy question.
Yes.
So my forked tongue ability only applies to NPCs. I realize that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But if Amanda and Doug are cool with it, I'm willing to spend the will to convince them that this is solved and they should walk away from the tree. They seem pretty far gone. I could use their help when the beast gets here and eats me. Which I'm assuming is how that's going to play down.
If they're okay with it out of character, I'm also cool with it.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, I will spend the 2 will and be like, hey, it's all good. We solved it. Buddy's safe. You did a good job. So back away from the tree.
Okay. when he, kind of, you say it's solved, and you convince him of this, like, you were already, I guess, Grayson, like, you weren't kind of part of that, like, that image yet, you know what I mean? You weren't part of that fantasy yet. So you're able to kind of, like, step away and get, like, these things off of you. But Quinn is pretty deep into the tree at this point. So, Quinn, I'd actually like a check from you. You've snapped out of it, right? You kind of see what's in front of you. You realize that it's a tree and it's not Buddy, even though it's hard to automatically come out of it, right? Like, you're kind of fading in and out of, like, what the heck is happening.
Right.
But you're gonna need to pull yourself from this tree. People can assist. I'm gonna argue that Alan already gave you a +1 die as an assist. But if anyone else wants to as well, like, just pull.
Yeah, I was gonna have Echo just grab her and try to pull her back.
Okay, cool. So Echo gives you a +1. The only thing to assisting is that if this person you're assisting fails, you all take the consequences.
Can I use my ability that once per session give a crewmate a +1 to one of their concept pools?
Yeah, like, I mean, I would wait for that, because the thing is that concept is something that you can spend if you don't make the check.
It's not the okay.
Yeah, so, like, if it doesn't make her check, though, that would be great for you to do, because then you could give her a +1. So you get a +1 die from Alan, you get a +1 die from Morgan.
Okay.
And then I think it's pure strength, man. Just yanking yourself out of the pool.
That's okay. That actually gives me a pretty decent pool to maybe not die. All right, let's see what happens. Yay! I get 3 successes.
Nice.
Okay.
3 successes. Oh yeah, it's 4 and up. Sorry.
4's up.
Yeah, 4 and up.
Sweet. All right, you pull yourself from the tree. And the ashes and kind of fiery bits of bark fall to the ground. And you pull yourself from the tree to kind of turn and see that behind Delaney, there's a giant beast. And this creature is basically made of, like, a kind of a mix of veins almost. At first you think that they're tree roots, but you realize that they're kind of glistening in the dark. And it has kind of, instead of a head, really, it just has these, like, long masses of tentacles, which are kind of hanging over your group. And, it lets out another shrieking cry over the 4 of you.
Ah!
Yeah.
Turn around. Yeah, that's a giant beast. That's a beast.
Yeah. Okay.
You're the chosen one. Quick, defeat it.
Like, hold my hand at it? Does it, like, make it run away or something?
We don't want it to run away. We need to defeat it.
Is it making it run away, defeating it?
You hold your hand out to the creature. And one of these kind of tentacly heads snakes down towards your hand. And as it snakes down, something kind of works its way through all the veins and pushes itself out. And basically you kind of see it crowning from between these veins. And it's the face of your father. And it kind of looks at your shining hand, and it kind of laughs, and it says, "Oh boy, when will you learn?"
Yep. How'd you get here?
I have always been here.
That doesn't feel right.
Why did you leave?
Like, you mean home?
I missed you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't on purpose.
You
I,
broke my
I
heart.
was
You know
trying
that, right?
to, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just trying to get money to pay for the doctor bills. And you're gonna lose the flat.
You were always such a good boy. You know you didn't have to take on that burden, don't you?
You couldn't even leave the house. Like, yeah, look, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I don't blame you. I just miss you. I wish you would come home.
I mean, how do we get home?
You all see this conversation happening between Delaney and you see the face of an old man, right, come out of this creature.
Right, right.
As it's kind of distracting Delaney, though, there's a couple more tentacles which descend upon your group and start attacking.
Ah!
I'm gonna try to throw a shield up to protect.
Okay, what does your shield look like?
I think it looks like a I guess going off of what killed her, it's gonna be what happens is good. She's gonna pull her hands apart, and it's gonna be like just a thick silver like vape of fog.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like a cloud of like smoke.
Okay. You pull up this cloud of smoke and try to buff it back. I mean, how are you just? Are you just trying to like withstand the attack? Are you trying to kind of like hit back with your shield and like hurt the creature?
I think just trying to protect us for now, just buff it away.
All right, I would argue it's a stamina check then, and you get a
Okay.
+1 for using your shield.
Okay, so 1 in stamina, 1 for shield. Then
Yeah,
also
and then
my 2 for body.
yep.
Okay, so
So
4.
that's 4, and the challenge is 2.
Okay. Ooh, 2.
All right. So you Quinn and Grayson, you see kind of like this vape of smoke kind of like surround the both of you, which is distinctly different than the fog, and kind of like buff it back the first attack. What are you two doing?
I'm going to try to use my whirlwind sword to also kind of fight the tentacles back.
Okay. That sounds good. I think that's probably dexterity.
Okay. Let me see. That is, so that's a 0. That's a 3 for my body plus the sword.
Yeah, so 4.
Oh yeah, dummy. 4. I've got 1 success, so no.
Okay. Do you want to use any frost to make that a success, or are you going to leave it?
Yeah, no, I'll use 1. Sure.
Okay. So you hit back the beast, and it actually seems like you actually you're using your tornado to kind of push it back, right? Like Echo had kind of summoned this vape shield to protect you, and then you kind of come with the tornado and push it backwards. It backs away slightly towards the fire, and you see it like shirk away from the fire and kind of like move a little bit sideways, kind of like skitter almost with all those veins to the side, trying to avoid that that tree that's kind of burning at this point. Quinn.
Okay, so I notice it also doing this avoid the fire thing, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, besides for Delaney, who's kind of in this conversation with his father. You're all present and you're seeing what's happening.
Okay. Then I'm going to use my bow to try to attack it as well. And the bow, I actually take one of my long gold chain necklaces, and that just I draw it up into the shape of a bow, and then I can gather an element from somewhere around me to make the arrows, in which case, in this particular instance, I'm going to use the fire from the torch to be the arrow that I'm going to fire at this.
Okay, so you actually, like, you don't have a quiver with your bow. You kind of draw from the elements around you.
Right, from something around me.
Okay, so you're going to use the fire. Smart.
Right.
Sounds good. Sounds painful. I would
Yeah, a little bit.
I'd argue this is probably a dexterity, unless you want to argue that the beast is kind of so big you can kind of just use your awareness to find the right place to shoot it.
No, dexterity works. That's fine.
Cool. And you get a +1 from your approach.
All right. Hooray. All right, let's see if this does anything. And, oh, it did. 2 successes.
2 successes. So you fire an arrow into this creature. And immediately the 3 of you kind of, as it kind of bursts into flames in its side, you smell the scent of kind of like burning blood, which isn't pleasant. And seems like, going back to Delaney, you see Quinn, right?
Okay.
Kind of draw up this bow. And as you're having this conversation with your father, you kind of see this burst of fire, and it's in your peripheral vision, right? Because like most of it, like, is just his face in front of you. You see him wince and cry in pain, and he says, "They're hurting me, son. They're hurting me."
Do I have? I'm trying to think. Okay, I mean, I hurt my dad, so I'm gonna turn on Quinn.
Oh, no.
I mean, if you as a player, Alan, want to try to resist this because you feel like there's some higher mind of Delaney that says, like, I wouldn't do this. But if there's just like, I see my dad.
Glowing, right?
Sorry?
The gem is still glowing, and that's not masked.
Yeah, it's glowing.
So yeah, so I'm turning on Quinn, and as I'm turning, I catch the light of the gem, and it sort of like recenters me to what we're actually trying to do, guidepost.
Okay. Okay, in that case, I would like an intelligence check from you to kind of reason your way out of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's intelligence plus mind. I would argue, since we kind of established that this light is also a bit your shield, you can get a +1 from your shield as well.
I won't complain.
Cool. Challenge 2. Success?
Yes. 2 4s.
You snap out of it.
Oh. Okay. Does it still look like my dad?
It does. It does. The thing is, like, you were kind of just under, because you all search for memories, right?
Right.
So, like, and sometimes you get trapped in one of these memories. That's almost how it felt to you. You're almost like, oh, maybe I'm just reliving this really nice moment with my dad. But you realize you're not. You're just standing in front of a creature wearing its face.
Okay. Yeah. So the creature's on fire.
The creature's on fire. It doesn't seem to be down yet, though. Like, it just seems to, like, it's obviously been damaged, though, by this fire.
I'm I'm not a combat character, right? Like,
Yeah.
my thing is talking. I'm good at words, apparently, despite all role playing to the contrary.
Hey, you can be good at words and choose not to use them well. That's a perfectly apt character build.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know anything about this creature, but it seems to draw on memories to like pull in its prey, right?
Yeah.
I would like to use my empathy
All
to.
right.
I mean, we're lost here, just like the creature is, right? Like, on some level, we share a bond of this is a place all of us are somewhat unfamiliar with, and it's scary and it's terrifying, and there's things going on we don't understand. This creature is living memories as it tries to eat us that it doesn't understand, and that's got to be somewhat freaky. So I want to try to talk it down almost.
Okay.
With like empathy and understanding, and approach this in a non-violent way, despite the fact that my friends have already lit it on fire.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I would like you first to tell me what you say, and then I'll ask for it back.
Yeah, that's fair. So I'm gonna yell at everybody to stop, and I'm waving my shiny hand around. Hey, stop!
Do you all take a pause?
Yeah.
Sure.
I have my hands up in a defensive motion, like ready to add more shields if need to, but that's it.
Do you have a name, or is it just Mr. Beast?
Okay, so you're just immediately like, okay. Yeah, it'll reply to you. It says, I have no name you will understand.
That's fair. There's a lot going on here that I don't really understand. So we'll just add it to the list. Can I call you Mr. Beast or something?
That is fine.
Great. Names really help me communicate better. So, look. The people who live in this fog are terrified of you because you devour them. I'm kind of new here, and I don't really get a lot of what's going on, and I seem to kind of just fumble my way through, and I kind of look at my hand. So I want to like work something out where you leave and you dissipate the fog, and you let these nice people with the masks go about existing in whatever static, sort of bizarre purgatory we seem to exist in right now. And, you know, this whole thing is freaky, and I gotta be honest, I don't appreciate you looking like my dad and then trying to eat me. And it isn't like I gotta imagine like maybe your dad did that to you. I don't know. But I feel like we can come to some sort of deal where we give you something you want and you leave and you go not eat people and exist in their memories, and we go on our way and everybody kind of comes out ahead.
All right. Well, I think you've appealed all you can appeal. This is more difficult, though.
Absolutely.
You're trying to appeal to a beast who has been consuming people for as long as you know, at least. I'm going to say this is a challenge for to appeal to it.
Okay.
You said you were using empathy.
If I can, empathy soul.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah, that's fair. And plus your soul, so that's 4 dice.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, I gotta clear it first. Oh, bummer. That was 4 successes. Dang it. Oh no, it reordered them. Never mind. I'll clear it and do it again. So they get used to this dice roller. Okay. 3 successes. I will spend a point of generosity.
Okay.
And I will offer the beast. Like, do you want my hand with the crystal? Like, what do you need to make this work?
All right. When you say basically, like when you mention that the people don't like being taken, it It says, but they're all with me now. And you all notice, basically, like you all see this happening, that throughout, like through its veins, basically, you see kind of faces
Gotcha.
popping in and out through the veins.
Nope, don't like that.
Yeah, they might all be now, but they didn't want to be.
I do not understand. They want to be now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not in fight there. I don't know.
It does step back the kind of aggressive stance, but it doesn't seem to know how to comply to what you want it to do.
Can it let them go? Can it
Can
let the people out?
Can you let them out? Can you let them go?
I think basically when you propose this, it kind of pulls out like one of its long veins, and you see someone kind of hanging from it. Not hanging by the neck, but kind of hanging attached to it, like along its spine. And the person kind of looks up, like its head kind of like flops to the side. And it says, we are all one now.
Still don't like that.
There's a lot of not good going on right now.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
I mean, I don't know what else to do. I tried my shtick, so if you guys want to like light it on fire or something, then you guys go ahead. I am running up against a brick wall here. I don't know how to convince it to do what we want it to do peacefully.
Can the tree that's on fire next to it?
Yeah.
Can I cut it down and so that it falls on the beast?
Okay. Yes. Like, are you kind of, or like, do you want to like funnel the fire with your tornado to kind of blast it type thing?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, just I want to somehow, make sure that the fire. Yeah, I'm not liking what's going on at all, and I'm just thinking we need to set it ablaze.
All right. So basically, as Delaney's trying to reason with this creature, the creature has like calmed down, and it seems interested, in this kind of whole like consenting to be consumed thing, that Delaney is proposing. Grayson, you're just like, nope, kill it with fire.
Yeah.
That's fair. I would say that is, I mean, you're trying to keep your party members out of this funnel of fiery doom, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, probably dexterity then, right? Like if you're +1 for your approach.
Okay.
So
it's gonna be 4.
Yep. Challenge 2. You're just trying to murderize something.
I'm going to clear that, and then 4. Submit. I've got 2. Yep.
Okay. Again, like, Delaney, you are hitting a brick wall with this creature, which is somewhat calmed down. And as that happens, what you notice is kind of like from behind this funnel of fire. I mean, narrate this for me, Doug, actually. What does it look like?
I'm just gonna take I'm gonna point my sword to the bulk of the flames that are on and I'm just going to I'm gonna use the wind and everything to kind of like build the fire up, and make it burn even brighter, even hotter, and then I'm going to just fling it over and hit the beast, just on its side, because it's not paying any attention, and just set it ablaze all along the. It's just like a big, like almost like paint, or almost, like, but it's fire, and it just douses the whole side of the beast.
Awesome. Yeah, you all see this kind of rain of fire fall down on the beast. And it starts screaming, and it doesn't scream in its own voice, but it screams in the voice of about 20 people. Each one of them you actually recognize. So Delaney, for you, it screams obviously in the voice of your father. Quinn, you hear it screaming in Buddy's voice. Grayson, obviously, you hear Eliza crying out. And Echo, you hear your mom screaming in the fire. And the beast goes up in flames, and it kind of stumbles for a couple of seconds before it collapses in on itself, all of these veins kind of shriveling up and then puffing into nothing. And then as it falls to the ground, you kind of see all these bodies kind of like fall out of it onto the ground as well. Lifeless.
Oh no.
But yeah, when you saw the, like, I do want to give a caveat, as I was narrating this, like, I do want to give a caveat, like, those bodies look dead before. So I do want to Grayson, you just murdered 20 people.
Well, I was thinking even if they were like some sort of alive in the beast, that wasn't like what they probably wanted to be. That wasn't probably how they wanted to be, like, in existence. Is probably my thought. You know,
that's how you're gonna rationalize murdering 20 people with fire.
That's how I'm gonna rationalize burning 20 people alive.
All right. You have defeated the beast.
Yeah.
Yay?
Nice.
Question mark?
I guess. Maybe.
Oh, I still feel sad because I heard my mom scream though.
One of these victories you don't actually feel good about.
Yay.
Yay.
Did the light go out in Alan's hand? I mean, in Delaney's hand.
Sorry, is the gem still there?
Yeah, is it still glowing, or is it still is it out?
Basically, the last thing that you all see of the beast is that the gem starts to flicker, and it fades. And as the gem fades, you actually notice the world kind of getting lighter. And you see actually that the sky is getting slightly brighter and the fog is starting to lift.
Wow, kid.
Wow.
Way to distract it while I was
So all these bodies that are now here, do they just kind of stay there? They're just regular old dead bodies at this point?
Yeah, regular old dead bodies with masks on. I mean, because they're metal masks, right? So like I don't think that burns that quickly. So
right. Then I would like how does using the talents work?
So basically there's two ways that you can use your talent. Either you can just use it as an ability and you can make a check associated with it, or you can help it to assist a check. How so? So
basically I just wanted to almost as more of like a narrative effect use my talent, which is to summon transportation unique and mighty, to basically summon up like a large cart that we can transport all of the dead back to the village so that their loved ones can do whatever these people do with their remains.
Yeah. So basically how talents work is you define them like you do your approach. So when you decide what type of transportation you're going to summon, that's going to be the transportation you're summoning throughout the game until you get more talents to kind of unlock and specify a little bit more. So you can do a cart if you want, or you said you were a wealthy individual, so do you want to do some type of like Rolls Royce or something?
Yeah.
Like a 1930s Phantom?
Yes, exactly that.
Okay. So you summon your sweet, sweet ride.
I summoned my sweet ride. And now we can put
corpses,
unfortunate corpses in my sweet ride.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we need to return them to the village so that they know what has happened to
yeah, that's all good.
their loved ones.
It's all good. I'll just start piling bodies in the trunk of your roll.
Be respectful.
All right.
I mean, sure.
I think this is a good time for an epilogue to round up the session because we're almost coming to time. And I would actually like to kind of round this up with a story that the townsfolk tell of those who were foretold. Because obviously they come in riding on like a metal creature. So I am going to start with you, Morgan.
Always.
Yeah, what do I'm sorry, did I pick on you last time?
You pick on me every single time.
Have I? Oh no,
Yeah.
okay. Do you want me to
No,
go
no, it's
to
fine.
the
Let's
way I'm
get the
gonna
order.
fire?
No, it's fine.
Okay. All right. That was you, Doug, by the way. Just you know.
What's that?
The employee I'm going to fire after this.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Morgan, I'm so sorry. It's just like in my little line of people, you're the first one. So my eye just goes to you. I'm like, that one. That is the tribute.
Yes.
What do the townsfolk tell of those who were foretold's mighty return?
Oh, jeez. So what they tell of the group, like as stories come, basically they were able to fight it off with a firestorm. I don't know, like they're gonna explode it into like bigger proportions. So they were able to defeat it in a whirlwind of fire.
So they defeated the beast in a whirlwind of fire. Doug, what changed in this realm after those who were foretold left?
It's not twilight as it's made like the whole world is a little bit brighter now. It's not constant twilight, and the folks don't have to wear masks anymore.
Oh, all right. In that case, Amanda, what do these people look like underneath the masks?
Oh my. Okay. So they look very similar to humans, except that rather than just having 2 eyes, they actually have 4. So it's like 2 sets of each one on top of each other. So, which we couldn't tell because they just had kind of like visors before.
All right. And Alan, what does the celebration look like every year when they celebrate the ones who were foretold?
So it's kind of like Guy Fawkes Day. So they have the effigy of the beast, right? And they burn it.
Fair. I like that too. All right. Well, thank you all so much for playing this session of Afterlife.
Yay!
Oh, thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Yes,
That was really great.
That was very, very great.
I'm super excited to back this game.
Absolutely.
Throw all the money at you. Like, what is the biggest tier I can throw money at of curiosity?
You can actually sit down with me and create an NPC that will be used in the core book.
Well,
wow.
I know what level I need now.
And of course, that comes with all the extra rewards because we're having custom dice made. We are also having quick references made, and we have something called the Wanderer's Tome. So that's actually going to be, it's a notebook that you can keep your character in, but at the start of it, it has all the pertinent information for players. So it has your character sheet at the start of the notebook. It also has information on your death marks and talent. So it also it's half a quick reference, half a notebook for you. That you can use as a player. And that's all included in that tier. You get all the swag plus an NPC.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Love it.
And you said this is coming to Kickstarter May 1st.
The next week.
So
Indeed.
it's coming right up.
In 1 week.
How long is the campaign going to be going for?
A month.
1 month. Okay. Excellent. So if you enjoyed this session, please, like I said, hit that like button down below, and once the Kickstarter is live, we'll make sure to put the link in the description, and I'll put a little annotation here on the video, so you can just click on that, and it'll bring you right over to the Kickstarter page, and you can check it out and pick whichever pledge you would like to donate towards, and you can help Afterlife Wandering Souls become a reality, which is what we love to do here on the show. We love making helping RPGs become reality, because these are just so much fun, and they're put out by such talented people like Liz and Alan.
It's okay. You don't have to say me. I know you're me.
Oh,
No, that's not true. Not true at all. So, yeah, I'm going to say, Liz, one more time for folks, if they want to know more about Angry Hamster Publishing and Afterlife, where should they go?
You can go to angryhamsterpublishing.com, and there we have links to the free quick start, for example, and all the information about the Kickstarter will be there too. You can sign up for our mailing list so you can be one of the first people to back the Kickstarter. You can also follow us on Twitter at Angry Hamster RPG, and we're also on Facebook, and that's just Angry Hamster Publishing.
Excellent, and I'll put the link to the quick start that's on DriveThruRPG in the description of this video as well. I think it's already there, to be honest with you. So if it's not, I'll make sure it's there right after we're done this session. Alan, Amanda, Morgan, thank you so much for coming on and giving me part of your night to do an actual play with y'all. We love having each one of you on the show, and we'll make sure to have you on yet again if you'd like to come on. Alan, where can folks find you if they want to know more about Alan Bahr?
At Alan Bahr on Twitter, or gallantnightgames.com, or our Facebook page, or our Twitter, Gallant K Games.
Nice. Amanda, how about you? Where can folks find more about Amanda Kahl?
You can check out my webcomic, ageofnight.com. New comic page coming in approximately 90 seconds. And you can also find me on Twitter at Age of Night and Instagram at Amanda Kahl Art.
Excellent. Morgan, last but not least, where can folks find more Morgan for their interwebs?
They can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Serena Bezos. That's SIRENABESOS. I mostly talk about nerd stuff, and if you're following me on Instagram, you get a lot of dice pics.
Nice.
Hashtag sorry not sorry.
Excellent. That's all right. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. Now go check out Afterlife Wandering Souls on Kickstarter. Thanks.